Today we are learning about relative density. It is also called as specific gravity. The formula for relative density can be constructed from its name. The name itself suggests that what is meant by relative density. So, relative density, that means density in relation with some other standard substance. Generally, this standard substance is taken as the water at 4 degrees Celsius. Now, the question is why water? Water is taken because the water as at 4 degrees Celsius has a special characteristic. It has a density of 1 gram per ml. That means, if you are measuring the volume in ml of this water, then it automatically gives you its mass in grams. It is so easy. That is why I think that they have taken the reference substance as water at 4 degrees Celsius. Now, I would write here the formula for relative density. Relative density is equal to density of given substance. Given substance means whose relative density you want to determine, that is given substance, divided by density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Density of water at 4 degree Celsius. But we know that density of given substance means the formula is mass upon volume. Okay, now let us consider this volume is standardized to 1 cm cube. So, I can write here the same formula as density of because we have just standardized the volume at 1 cc, that is 1 cm cube. Therefore, now I can write as density of given substance I can replace by mass of 1 cm cube volume of given substance divided by mass of 1 cm cube volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. And therefore, I can take a benefit. I can realize from this formula that if I take a mass of some volume of given substance, then I must take the mass of same volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Mass of V volume of given substance divided by mass of V volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. And this gives me the formula for relative density. All these three formulae for relative density you can use. Relative density, as I told you, is also called as specific gravity. What is meant by gravity? Gravity is the gravitational force exerted by the earth on an object. Okay, so here I can write the gravitational force on given volume of given substance divided by the gravitational force on the same volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. So easily we can get the formula for specific gravity also. That is why this was called as a specific gravity. Thus we can define relative density of substance as it is the ratio of mass of any volume say V of given substance to the mass of same volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Mass of same volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. So, this ratio gives us the relative density. Now, let us discuss about the density of a substance in its different states. You are familiar with this because you might have studied that in case of many substances its density in solid state is more than its density in liquid state, but there are some anomalies like iron, water, etc., where the density in solid state is lesser than the density in liquid state. Okay. For example, the density of ice in is 0.97 or say 0.92 gram per cc, while the density of water is, as we know, 1 gram per cc. So, roundabout if we say that the density of ice is 0.9 and density of water is density of water is 1 gram per cc, then remember that ice has a little less density than water. Okay. We are discussing now about the great Greek scientist again, Archimedes. So, Archimedes stated 3 laws regarding to the sinking and flotation and displacement of the liquid when a solid is dropped in the liquid. So, these 3 laws I am stating one by one. See, we will discuss in detail about them. The first law we have learnt when we have learnt about the Eureka pot, that when a solid, when an insoluble solid is immersed in the liquid, it displaces the volume of liquid equal to its own volume. Second law, when an insoluble solid is immersed in any liquid, it displaces sorry, it displaces the volume of liquid equal to its own immersed volume. That means if it is partially out and partially in the liquid, then it only displaces the volume of liquid equal to the volume which is immersed, okay, immersed volume, and experiences a beyond force, experiences a beyond force equal to weight of displaced liquid. This beyond force acts opposite to the weight of immersing solid. And number 3, this is also called as law of flotation. When the volume of displaced liquid weighs equal to the weight of immersing solid, comma, the solid begins to float. In bracket I am writing very important part, no matter what is the density of solid. This is very important. I would state these laws, read these laws one by one. When an insoluble solid is immersed in the liquid, it displaces the volume of liquid equal to its own volume. Remember here, which I made clear in the following law, that if you have immersed the solid partially in the liquid, then it would displace the volume of liquid which is equal to the immersed volume of the solid. Okay, remember this. Next law is, when an insoluble solid is immersed in any liquid, it displaces the volume of liquid equal to its own immersed volume, which we have considered above, and experiences a buoyant force equal to weight of displaced liquid. This buoyant force acts opposite to the weight of immersed solid, and remember that this buoyant force is always acting opposite to the weight, means in the upward direction. If, because weight always acts vertically downwards, so the buoyant force always acts vertically upwards. Remember this, and due to this there is an apparent decrease in weight also. That is why in case of immersed solids inside the liquid, we would feel that it becomes less weight, it becomes less weight. That means suppose weight of an iron block is 100 Newton outside the water, then it may appear 70 Newtons when it is fully immersed in the liquid. Okay. So, there is a apparent decrease in the weight of the solid, immersed solid, remember this. That is why they appear lighter when they are immersed in the liquid. Next law is, this is called as law of flotation. When the volume of displaced liquid weighs equal to the volume of immersing solid, the solid begins to float. That means, if an instant comes that the immersed solid displaces the amount of liquid whose weight is equal to the solid's weight, then the solid would start to float on that liquid. It is immaterial that whether its density is greater or smaller than the liquid. Okay. Just what is material? The material is, you have to consider the weight of the displaced volume of liquid. If it becomes equal to the weight of the solid, then the solid would begins to float on the liquid, remember. So, this is called as principle of flotation or law of flotation. These three laws were stated by the great Greek scientist Archimedes. Here I am showing you the conclusive experiments about the Archimedes principle. Now, I took an iron sheet, and you can see that when I drop this iron sheet in the tank of water, then what would happen? The iron sheet would simply sinks inside this tank by displacing some water, which if the tank is fully filled, then the water would spill out from the tank itself like this. Okay, little amount of water it would be, and the iron sheet got has sinken inside this tank full of water, you can see. So, this is according to the Archimedes law. What happened in this case? Why this iron sheet could not float on this water? Because the iron sheet is not able to displace the amount of water which would weigh equal to its weight. That means, it could not displace the weight of water which is similar to the weight of that sink itself, and that is why it could not float, very simple. Okay. So, in this way we have seen the consequence of Archimedes laws. See here, the first two laws also here obeyed, because I shown you that if the tank is fully filled with water, then while sinking the iron sheet, a little amount of water will spill out from this tank. Now, here we would consider the same iron sheet now, but we would give it a different shape. See now what happens, the same iron sheet I have converted in this shape, okay. So, this is the shape I have given to this iron sheet. You may consider this as a shape of bowl or a simple sheep also, you can say. So, when I drop this, then what happens? See, the ship would sink inside the water, but not completely. Okay, it would get immersed inside this water tank, but not completely. As it is getting immersed, or we can say as it is going down inside the water, it is displacing the water. But when the volume of displaced water becomes exactly equal to the shape of this iron, you may call it as a bowl or ship also, then what happens? The sinking of this ship or bowl stops, because as I told you that according to Archimedes' third law, when the weight of displaced liquid becomes equal to the weight of the solid object, then the solid object begins to float. Now here remember that the density of this ship is same. Okay, the density of this ship iron is the same, because same material we have converted into this shape, only the shape got changed, and that is why when this shape is able to displace the liquid equal to its weight itself, then the ship stops to sink, and this is the law of flotation, we can say. Here you can note this. Okay. So, in this manner we studied the law. Now, while sinking down, I would show you some forces, that is two forces acting on this ship. See here, the weight of this ship acts vertically downward, I would call it as W, and the buoyant force acts vertically upwards. This is acting vertically upwards, and I call this as F suffix B, because this is a buoyant force. Now, when this buoyant force becomes exactly equal to W, that is weight of the ship begins to float. Okay. And in the first case, in the previous case we have studied, here you see that the buoyant force is less than the weight of this iron sheet, and that is why the sheet could not float, it would sink within that water. Okay. So, this discussion leads us to three different cases regarding to this law. We will discuss. The first case is that the buoyant force is smaller than the weight of the solid. What would happen? Let us see. Now, here I dropped this solid inside this tank fully filled of water, then what would happen? See, in this case I told you that the buoyant force is smaller than the weight of the solid, that is object I am dropping inside this tank. Here I would show this by weight, and the buoyant force is acting in the upward direction as I have shown by these arrows. Now, here since the buoyant force is smaller, what would happen? See, clearly the object would immerse inside this tank fully filled of water, and the water would spill out from this tank like this. Okay. Now, here also the three laws of Archimedes got obeyed. The first law states that when we immerse the solid inside this tank full of water, then while immersing, the solid would start to spill out the water, because the tank is fully filled. They spill out the water which is equal to the volume of immersed solid, and even though this weight of displaced liquid could not produce enough buoyant force, that is why the solid would immerse completely, sink inside the tank full of water. Now, this case I have told you that in this case the weight of displaced water I would call this weight as buoyant force. Remember, this is less than weight of immersed solid, and that is why the solid could not float it would sink inside this tank. So, this shows you the solid sinking inside this tank full of water, and this is because the weight of the solid is more than the buoyant force created by this liquid, and in this case the solid would sink inside the liquid. I would write here the conclusion that when the immersed solid could not produce buoyant force equal to or greater than its weight, the solid sinks inside the liquid. Consider the next case we are discussing is that the buoyant force the weight of displaced liquid I would call this as buoyant force. Again and again I am telling you this is just equal to weight of solid when it is fully immersed, when it is fully immersed. Okay, in this case what happens, see, I am showing you this is the case. Okay. Now, as it is getting sunken inside this liquid, slowly you can see that the buoyant force would increase, which is I am showing by red color. This is the buoyant force. Okay. And this buoyant force is now enough to balance the weight of this solid, and that is why the solid just floats on the surface of the water, such that its entire surface is below the water, that is liquid, but it won't sink inside this liquid. This is the floating. Okay. Here the Archimedes law is obeyed. See, third law. What the third law says? Whenever the immersing solid displaces the liquid whose weight is equal to the weight of the solid itself, then the solid stops immersing. Okay. So, here this happens when the solid is completely immersed, but not sunken, not at the bottom of the liquid, remember this. So, this is the second case we have discussed. Okay. The third case we are considering is that the buoyant force the buoyant force is equal to weight of the solid when it is partially immersed. Partially immersed. When it is partially immersed. Now here what would happen, you see that obviously the weight of the solid is got balanced by the buoyant force of the displaced liquid. Here I would again remember you about that, it is the weight of displaced liquid. Okay, now here there is no need to immerse the solid completely, because what would happen here, you see that when this solid is immersed inside this liquid, when this solid is immersed inside this liquid partially, okay, like this, then the spilled liquid, that creates the buoyant force would balance out. This is the spilled liquid, you can say, okay, and this creates the buoyant force, because I told you that buoyant force is equal to weight of displaced liquid, and therefore the buoyant force would balance the weight of the immersing solid when it is partially immersed. No need to immerse this object completely, and we have seen this in the case of ship or bowl made from the iron sheet, and here is the buoyant force I am showing you, which is balancing the weight, okay, when the solid is partially immersed, and in this case the solid would float on the water. For example, as we have considered the ship, etc., wooden block also you can consider, ice also you can consider. When ice is 90% immersed, or approximately 90% immersed inside the water, then the ice start to float on the water. Obviously this depends on the density of the liquid also. Suppose the liquid is heavier, then just a part of displaced liquid could balance the weight of the immersing solid. Suppose you know that a human being get immersed inside the water if it could not swim, but same human being is thrown in the pool of mercury, then the human being could not sink inside this mercury, because the mercury has approximately 13 times greater density than the water. That is why I am telling you, there is one sea called as Dead Sea in Israel, where we could not sink inside that sea, even though we want to sink also, because the density of that water inside the Dead Sea is much greater than the density of normal water of the swimming pool, and that is why a little amount of water is displaced by our body creates enough buoyant force so that we could float on the water. See the power of knowledge, the power of laws created by the great legends like Archimedes, okay, which we are still following today also. Thank you for watching this video.